Today we will see the Karl Marx, political ideologist, in this video, and his period is 1818 to 1883. So the Karl Marx theory is a well-known political ideology theory which has its own name, Marxism theory, which will be lasting as long as the world exists, and it is the eye opener for so many socio-economic and political renunciation or reformation and etc. So Karl Marx was born in March 5th, 1818 in Rhineland for a Jewish family. So he studied law in Bonn, Germany, that is University of Berlin, and in 1836, and he got a doctorate degree in philosophy during 1841. Editor of Liberal and Rheinische Zeitung 1842-1848. He was the editor of that magazine. And then 1848, Marx was expelled from Prussian territory. So because of his expulsion, he moved to London and stayed till his death. And then as regards during 1850 to 1860, he worked in the British Museum, and then he wrote article for New York Tribune. He lived a life of poverty, and Marx died during March 14, 1883. So actually he led a poverty life, though he made lot of reforms in economics and political and social science. And then we will see his ideologies, Karl Marx ideologies, one by one. First we will see his theory of dialectics. Dialectics means in society there will be ever changing of ideas. One idea will overtake the other, and during the course of this ideas and opposing ideas, there will be a new idea will be emerged, and that is called, the idea will be called thesis, antithesis, thesis, and there will be opposing ideas called antithesis, and combined with there will be synthesis. A new idea will emerge, that is called synthesis. Likewise, again thesis, antithesis, synthesis, like that the ideas will emerge in a new form while the days go ahead, or when the progress in the particular field of socio-economic and political field, if something emerge, it will be a new idea will emerge by the process of thesis, antithesis and synthesis. This is called dialectics. And then this was even Hegelian theory also states the same. And since he is the follower of Hegel, he is very much fond of Hegel, and he put forth this dialectics theory. And then the second thing is materialism, historic materialism, or history and materialism. So we know materialism, this is the world of materialism, and unless the material is there, it is very difficult to survive. So the material plays vital role in forming a society, and also the superstructure like the state, law, culture and religion, the superstructure is formed because of the material world. So the historic materialism is the development and change in society is due to the dialectics, the materialism, that is historical materialism. Human collectively produce the necessities of life, and that has to be distributed to all, and that is he seizes the whoever have the economic power, they seizes power, and that is called imperial socialism. So matter uh, in the form of the matter is in the form of subject and nature, which will form the society. And so the historic materialism is very very important. Everything is based on materialism, and the superstructure is also based on the materialism. Then economic determinism. Economic determinism, the economy of a person determines all. The person who holds a lot of economy, they are the driving forces of the government. They so the economic determines the nature of the man. So the basic thing, that is the economy is based on, that is the demand and supply, and also means of production, distribution of production, everything is spelled out by the economic determinism. So the economy determines the progress of the country or the progress of the man. So economy determines all the things, that is the surplus value, the means of production, and the money supply, everything is determined by economic determinism. So whoever holds the economy and the power, they also hold the power, that is economic determinism. Then the fourth thing is class struggle and social change. So class struggle in society, there is a class that is haves and have-nots. There are two types of class in society. They are called haves and have-nots. Haves means the people who have lot of wealth and put lot of influence on society and the politics and the government. They are called bourgeois. Bourgeois. Bourgeois are the haves, or the rich people, or the people who are affluent society, or the elite society. Those people are called the bourgeois. And the people who are doing the production, who are labor, who are the people for the means of production, they are called laborers, and they are called in the Karl Marx term proletariat. Proletariat means the workers, the working people who produce the goods, who are the main people to produce the goods. So the class struggle will always be there between haves and have-nots, because and the social change is also because of the class struggle. The main thing is the class struggle. Why class struggle always exists means, when the means of production and the surplus value goes to the bourgeois, then there may be the class struggle will be imminent, and that is indispensable. So class struggle will always be there between proletariat and bourgeois, and because of this the social change may happen because of the class struggle. Then going on to the because this class struggle only helps the formation of government, and to bring the government from that is socialism, from capitalism to socialism, or from feudal society to the communism, or the so-called Marxian society. That is called class struggle, and this class struggle will always be there as long as the surplus value is not shared between the bourgeois and the proletariat. Then the next thing is analysis of state. The political power of state is controlled by bourgeois. Usually, when they have power and when they have money, and the political power of the state is controlled by bourgeois. Then modern usually the modern state depends on the credit and taxes. State organization of power, that is socio-economic status of power, which is always with the dominant class. That dominant class is known as bourgeois. So the analysis of state is the though it is not having its own life, it is having the assemblage of human beings with definite territory and all. That state will be controlled by the bourgeois, and but at a particular stage the state control will be taken by the proletariat, and then the state withers away. During that time the state may wither away. That is the analysis of the state. And the analysis of capitalism, the capitalist who own the goods, who own the capital, who own the industries, and who own the infrastructure, they are called capitalist, and they put the capital, and they are the main people who produce the goods. But the thing is, they take the surplus value. The means of production is by the proletariat, because they don't have the capital, and the people who throw their labor on producing the goods are not weighed properly, or not compensated properly, and the surplus value ought to be shared among the proletariat. That is the capitalism. And in future we are going to talk about future society. In future society we are going to talk about political, economic, social background, which is made from the economic standpoint of human society and social humanity. The future society is always depends upon the human society and social humanity. That means the society wants to have a revolutionary change, and that change should bring about the social humanity and human society, which is divide of the ups and downs. That is the analysis of state and analysis of capitalism. Then also the future society. Then next thing is dictatorship of the proletariat. The proletariat means the laborers. Then when the laborers at one point of time will try to take away the political power and other thing from the bourgeois, because the means of production, they are the people who are behind the means of production, and they want to take up the major share, that is from the bourgeois. They want the society of communism from the socialism. They want the state controlled production of goods. So dictatorship to the proletariat, at one point of time the proletariat will dictate the terms, and they will take over the state, and during that period of time the state withers away, and that is called the dictatorship of the proletariat. Then we are going to talk about the Communist Manifesto, which is the analytical approach. This is the Communist Manifesto is the analytical approach to class struggle and capitalism. Capitalist mode of production. What is the capitalist mode of production and the socialistic mode of production? Then the forcible overthrow of existing social conditions will also be discussed in Communist Manifesto. So the existing social conditions, if the existing social conditions is not paving the way for proper livelihood of the proletariat, then the forcible overthrow of that government will always be there. And that is spelled out in Communist Manifesto. So the Karl Marx overall view is about bringing about the state withering of state and the dictatorship of the proletariat and social change, and also the means of production and the surplus value should be shared to all or to the proletariat. That is the important thing which is spelled out by Karl Marx. So the Karl Marx Capital, the book on economy is very much special on these aspects, and Karl Marx, the ideology is known as Marxism, and even now the Marxism is adopted in various countries' political manifesto or political the running of the government, political running of the government is basically based on this Karl Marxian ideology. With this, we conclude this Karl Marx